your thumbs up or a little purple heart or something.
Hey there, freak. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. I'm just waiting a minute. Oh, it's already 9:999 sharp, so we can start right now.
Make me a co-host just in case you have issues with the
Yeah,
connection.
in case I disappear, I'll invite you as co-host. Welcome everyone. How are you? Good morning. Another amazing week just beginning for all of us, and I hope is gonna be a great one for you, game changer in your life, and all positive things happen this week. And we're welcoming here with us Carlos. Carlos, the CEO and founder of DEGA. You know, it's always an honor and fun to be talking with you every morning. So, how are you, Carlos?
Doing great, man. Really excited to kick off our second week of the ISPO.
Yeah, I know this week. It's exciting for me because I think is my second epoch. So this is my first time staking and the first time doing all this dynamic. I wasn't into the Cardano until we got into this project. So a lot of these concepts are really new for me. And that's why it's like if you can, as always, I know that some people already know. We have usually some new people here, like give us like a small description of what we're doing, what an ISPO is, and what is DEGA ISPO, and what are the differences and the characteristics or the attributes that this special ISPO has.
Sure, happy to do so. So, for everybody that's new to the ecosystem, an ISPO is a form of a rewards program in which um, we support the Cardano network, and you can also support the DECA project by doing delegations, right? So in proof of stake blockchains like Cardano and several others, not everybody can set up a blockchain node, right? So usually some people with technical capabilities set up a blockchain node to validate blocks, right? But to be able to validate more blocks in the network, you need to have a greater amount of ADA staked, right, or delegated. So people can do kind of like the equivalent of loaning you their vote, right? Like ADA that's delegated to our node, to our stake pool, is the equivalent of people giving us their voting power. So when they do that, we validate more blocks, we generate more ADA rewards, which usually are split between the node validator and the people delegating. But in this case, with an ISPO, what you do is the validator keeps 100% of the ADA rewards, and then the person who does the delegation receives DEGA rewards, right? In this case, and every project does their own rewards, right? Other projects will give you their own token rewards, and in our case, we've gamified it in a way that that's what makes it unique. Basically, if you have our partner tokens, you get a bonus. If you have our NFT, you get a bonus in rewards, and there's even more gamification coming. But for now, we can talk about the bonuses, right? So there's a partner, the NFT, and the duration bonus. Basically, the more that you've been delegating to us, the more boost you'll get with your subsequent rewards.
So yes, so you're talking about bonuses here. Is you have different kinds of bonus. You have the partnership bonus, you have the NFT bonus, and you just said it. You have the, how do you say? Yeah, like the staking time bonus, all the way down to supernova. Am I right? So if you add all those bonuses, is 35%, I think, on the boost you get. How does that boost get like work? Can I, like,
Yeah,
what happens if I stake now and every time, like, it depends on the epoch I got the boost on, or how does it work?
yeah. Basically, once the time, the epochs that you've been delegated is met, then every subsequent credit that you get, every time that you're getting a DEGA reward, you'll get the additional DEGA tokens as part of the bonus. So say you were getting, I don't know, 100, right? So if you have the partner bonus, then you'd get 105 instead of just 100. And subsequently, you would stack the three different types of bonuses on top of that 100, right? So that's how the bonus works.
So for example, with the NFT, if I stake enough ADA, kind of like the bonus pays itself. Just doing the math here.
Yeah, I mean, our NFTs are super low barrier to entry, right? They're the equivalent of when we did it, it was kind of like the equivalent of $10, right? So it's super low barrier to entry because just a quick parenthesis there, and we've talked about this in previous spaces, and it is not the topic of conversation for this one, but the reason for our NFTs having a low barrier to entry is because the rarity will be based on how you build up your NFTs, right? So it's the equivalent of an RPG game. So we want everybody to be part of the game, right? That's why the barrier is so low. And in the future, we'll even allow you to start from scratch, like doing quest, and then that'll allow you to earn that NFT. So it'll be even, open to somebody that doesn't even have $10, just so that you can start out, working in that sense for the community and then get your NFT. But basically, that's how it'll be made, right? It's like you don't go into a game and start off with the character maxed out with all the stats on the first step, right? I mean, you can buy, I guess, you can buy one, right? But we want to allow this to be something that's created by the community, right? So if you build out your NFT and you level it up to a maximum rarity, and then you want to sell it, that's on you, right? That's your decision. But we don't, we want this to be something that you make, not that we at Dega just, give you a maxed out, super rare um, game item, game element without you having, earned it in that sense, or without giving you the chance to customize it and project yourself in it. So that's why it's a low barrier to entry.
So it's not only compound interest that I can be playing here, with the whole dynamic. It's also like my actions get reflected on my results, and
Yeah,
so that, like, that NFT will get power up in better trades at the end, is what I understand.
yeah.
Okay.
One thing, somebody commented that it's difficult to hear me. I'm using my usual AirPods.
I
Is
can
my
hear you
audio good?
perfectly.
Okay, cool.
Like, I hear you loud and clear, bro.
Okay, good to know.
Maybe we can ask, like, the people again, like, thumbs up if you can hear Carlos well, thumbs down if you cannot, and that way we will know if, like, people can hear us. There's a little bit of a delay, so we'll see the thumbs up and down like in a few seconds, but
Okay,
I can hear you perfectly.
that's cool.
Okay, I was gonna talk about the partnership bonus. So I was right now we have Copy, Cornucopias, we have Meld, and we have Wi-Fi. As partnership bonus. So,
Hmm.
so I know with Copy, 1,700 Copy, you gotta have in your wallet. With Meld is 3,200, and Wi-Fi is 170. Plus the premium NFT is only 38.18. So, but are there coming are the any new partnerships coming? Are we gonna have the chance to also help other projects?
Yeah, yeah, more partnerships will be announced in coming weeks for sure. Like obviously, we have to wait till we announce them to talk about them.
Okay, but this is not the only way to get DEGA tokens, you know? So there's the daily challenge. There's a daily tweet that if you share, that if you like, retweet, and comment, you know, and mention three people, you get the chance to win extra DEGA tokens. And actually it's a lot. It's 1,000 daily DEGA tokens we're given for this challenge. But there are other challenges that we actually really love, Carlos. And there are other ways to also get into Dega tokens, even though if you have no money, or you know, like other ways to get into the game. And that responds to a why, you know, to a deep why on why you're doing this, and it's giving the chances, democratizing the access. Can you tell us a little bit about that, and then we can talk about some of the dynamics?
You mean, could you rephrase the question, please? I'm not sure exactly where you want to go.
Why, like there's a why that you're creating quests, challenges, and contests in order to be able to win Dega tokens. That is not only about, it's not about creating contests, and it's about giving the opportunity to people to be part of this, even though if they have money or not. Is your actions, is your talent, is what you're good at. That's part of the Dega philosophy. So why is that why you created those things? And we can jump in and talk about some of those contest challenges and experience that we are doing for people to participate and get Dega tokens.
Yeah, so basically that's part of the philosophy of play your way, which is something that we will be publishing a detailed article about in the future. But essentially, it's just the capability to allow everybody to take part in the ecosystem by providing value to said ecosystem, right? That's essentially what blockchains do, right? Like if you are doing Bitcoin mining, you're securing the Bitcoin network. So Bitcoin is rewarding you with Bitcoin. And the same thing applies to Cardano, right? So if you're doing proof of stake delegation, you're securing the network, then the network rewards you with more ADA. So we want to take this to the next level, right? And be able to do open it up not only just for consensus operations, but for you to be able to contribute to the DEGA network or network of people in this case, right? Not necessarily only network as a technology, but to be able to contribute to the network, the DEGA network of people or the ecosystem, and then be rewarded with DEGA tokens in that case, right? So that's why it takes place both in the ISPO. That's obviously a way to contribute and support the project. Also, obviously, content creation and the, expressing your creativity. And there'll be many different other ways that we will be structuring, the equivalent of a gaming progression system, so that people can take multiple paths in the Dega ecosystem, and then that'll be manifested into their NFTs. So they will be able, you'll be able to just look at someone's NFTs, and you'll be able to know and identify, what type of let's say value they've provided to the network. And obviously, this is tied into the Dega token as well, right? Because you'll use a Dega token to be able to acquire certain components for your NFT. So it's all about allowing you to be properly rewarded based on the value that you give.
And we had, so about that, we're having one daily challenge, and we also have the Dega Batalla bot Clash of Tribes, and I do want to talk a little bit about that, but the Dega Batalla bot Clash of Tribes is part of the Dega Batalla bot. So the Dega Batalla bot is also the tool we're using to premium the NFTs. So what is the Dega Batalla bot, and what can we do, and what was the, and let's talk about the battle that happened on Saturday and what's gonna keep on happening until we get to the finals.
Yeah. So the reason we created this Telegram bot, and we will be creating more bots for different purposes and integrating into other platforms such as Discord, WhatsApp, and many others, is because at Dega we've always mentioned, right, that we want to empower billions to project their creativity in the digital economy, right? and emerging markets are one of our main, not one, it's the main target audience that we want to work with. So we were thinking about, how can we make this as easily accessible to everyone, right? There's obviously, having a web page is obviously important and it's great, but quite honestly, the best way to get to everybody's hands is to go through chat interfaces, right? Because even if you have a low-end mobile phone with worth $40, you can still have a chat application, right? You can still use Telegram, you can still use WhatsApp, you can still use Twitter. So whereas even some websites, even in a in a smartphone, they might still require some um, you know bandwidth to be able to do visualizations, right? If you want to load images, videos, animations, so that can still be, I mean, and it'll load, like it'll get the website, right? But it's still a little bit of a more slower interaction, whereas chat, it's just text, it's just buttons. It'll be pretty quick, even on a very bad signal, right? So that's why we are using chat. So we want to make sure that we cover our bases. And obviously, there will be some more high end experiences that we will be building and providing to our partners. But we wanted to make sure that the basis was covered, right? So that's why we do chatbots a lot in DEGA. And yeah, Dega Batalla Bot is just the first one, which is oriented towards being able to create engagement between the tribes, allow them to work together and compete and showcase, how, let's say, legit they are, right? Like if you have a tribe with, 500 members, but there's only one of them showing up for the event, well, you got some problems there, right? So this event allowed everybody to showcase how powerful they are as a tribe, and powerful not in the usual sense that you would think about hierarchies, right? But more so in the sense of power being your capability to manifest things, right? That's something that you'll hear me say a lot. Like power in Dega means capability to manifest, right? Like how like an artist is powerful, right? Like an engineer is powerful, um, and that's what we're talking about here. So we want to see how powerful the tribes are in terms of their capability to make things happen, right? So that's why we created the Dega Batalla bot, and obviously, it's integrating the minting function and everything else. Just very convenient to just use one bot instead of having 100 bots.
And I love the experience. In we're running right now the Dega Clash of Tribes, and the Dega Clash of Tribes is with the Dega Batalla bot.
Mm-hmm.
So there are two classifications. That the first one was on Saturday. The next one will be on July 21st, and then we will have the great, like the final of finals in August. So we're giving
Yeah,
away a lot of the tokens for us.
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it,
So
it's a big
I, I
prize.
was I was watching the event. It was really cool. But can you let me know how you felt the energy is, since you were like the one leading it, right? You were like at the center of everything with the rabbit. What was your first impression, managing this event?
Dude, for me it was like actually seeing real battles. I felt like I was, how do you say, like announcing on the UFC, and the energy of the players and seeing the interaction on Telegram, and the kind of support like this people got, because they were getting likes. Remember the dynamic of the fight is you get power ups with likes and retweets, and we were seeing people getting to 70 likes, 70 retweets. It was huge. Then seeing the energy in the Telegram with all those gifts, it felt like a gift battle. But then the round started, and you see the punches, and you can actually, I smelled the blood. I saw the
Mm.
sweat. It was intense. For me, it was really intense, bro.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, because this has only had like internal battles so far, right? Just between the same Dega team, the same Dega community. So this is the first time that we actually had the clash of tribes, with people coming from different ecosystems. So yeah, it was a very unique experience. And it's actually for in general, I don't think I've ever seen a dynamic like this, right? Like I don't believe there's any. And to be clear, right, we're not a gaming company, right? Well, we are a gaming infrastructure company. We're not a video game studio development company, right? We provide the infrastructure, the services, so that you don't have to worry about blockchain. You just focus on your game. But at the same time, we want to experiment with a few dynamics and gamification. So that's why the Dega Battle Bot is a pretty easy way to go about that. Um, and I don't believe I've ever seen a game with this dynamics, right? Like it was simple, but the fact that you can use social media to support and boost your community, and at the same time generate awareness about your tribe, it's a pretty unique approach, I have to say.
No, it was, and it was intent. It is unique. It is a unique dynamic. I totally understand that a company like Dega, that is not a game studio, as you said, is gamifying the whole experience. And the way you always say, Dega is like an RPG game. It makes sense to have this kind of activities, it's like, because it's creating tribalism, it's creating those rituals, it's creating the spaces for us to connect and have fun. And I think we saw that on Saturday at the highest level with the simplest tool ever.
Yep. Now imagine, because this is just a system for us right now. Imagine integrating this into live streams between battle royale or MOBA games or first-person shooters in which people can face off against each other, and you can have teams facing off against each other, and they can support and boost each other in real time while streaming, right?
That'll be magical. That'll be magical. That's I think this is kind of like creating a new line of social gaming, that I haven't seen before. I haven't seen it anywhere else. So it's
Yeah.
innovative for me as hell.
Yeah. We'll be experiment. Yeah, for everybody here in the audience, we'll be experimenting with integrating this into you know like full-fledged games, right? That are competitive games to be able to bring this dynamic of having your tribe support you to different types of gameplay, right? Again, we're not a game development studio. We provide the blockchain gaming infrastructure so that gamers can focus on their gameplay and we focus on the protocol stuff. But we'll continue to experiment with this, both in simple examples like the one that you're seeing right now with the Tega Batalla bot, and then with other full-fledged gaming developments, right? So stay tuned for that part and see. We'll see how we'll add much more exciting dynamics. Stuff like, for example, the attributes of your NFT will have an influence in the buff that you give to your tribe members. Um, and the items that you have as well will also have an impact in how you can support your let's say your champion fighting for your tribe. So a much many more different development and exciting designs coming your way.
And I would love to say that it even surprised me in the results at the end, because there were players that started in the round one, because they were like the number twos of every tribe. So there was first an elimination to
Hmm.
get into the quarterfinals. So the weird thing, or the special thing about this, is that both finalists started playing in that round one, so they had one more game, now one more chance to be eliminated or win or get the dynamic. I don't know, but both finalists had one more battle than the rest of the players that they beat, like, during the game. So
Yeah.
they came from the back all the way to the top. And guess which tribes were the ones that were facing each other in the final?
It was the same tribe, right?
It was the Knights against the Mafia, both cornucopias tribes.
Yeah.
It was cool because they in numbers they're pretty much even. They're like I think they're close to 900 members, so they have a lot of backing, a lot of power. They're really well organized. They communicate like really well between them. So the numbers of engagement we were seeing in one another, it was incredible. And actually, I see Taylor over here. I don't know if we could, if Taylor would love to tell us about his experience and how he lived through the final. You know that how was that final event? I don't know if Taylor, if you wanna jump and tell us a little bit, feel free to talk. If not, it's okay. But we
Yeah.
at the end it was a long battle, bro. It was like I was suffering. I was suffering. I don't know like how people felt it, but for me it was crazy, crazy, crazy. How did you feel it? You were watching the battle, weren't you?
Yeah, I didn't see the final. I was watching some of the first battles that they took place. But yeah, like, and I was also monitoring the chat because I wanted to see how the experience was like for somebody that was only in the chat, right? Because going back to the original proposition, right, to make this available for everybody, obviously if you don't have a good internet connection or a good enough phone, you won't be able to stream it. So I just wanted to see how it felt from a chat perspective, basically. And yeah, it was pretty good. Like even the chat was like super exciting, right? Just monitoring the chat, it was like a constant stream of content and comments. So very exciting. So yeah, it was. I really enjoyed this thing. It kind of reminds me, of what like it reminded me a little bit of the good old days when we only had like certain things on radio, right? Because you would only listen to things. Now in the modern age, now we see everything, right? We see images, we see long form videos, we see streams, we see clips. Everything's very very visual, but with the exception of stuff like this, right? Like Twitter Spaces. So watching the chat felt like in the good old days when you would just see, or would you just, I mean, just tune into the radio, right? And you're just listening things in real time. But yeah, it was nice. It was a really nice experience.
Yep. So we're gonna have this again. It's gonna happen July 21st. It will be another classific. There will be another classification event. Same rules, same thing. You gotta belong to a tribe. Tribes can have two representatives fighting for the DEGA heart and 175,000 DEGA tokens. And the winner of that battle will go on to the final in August against the winner of the first one, which was Lee Steele. So the winner of the next one will face Lee Steele in the final round. So I know you tribes are preparing, you're gathering your people, you already know the dynamic. If you missed it, it's on YouTube. There's like a 5 hour video that where you can get like the dynamic and everything of how it works. So there will be another chance to win some DEGA tokens, a lot of DEGA tokens actually, and make it into the final. To the other finalists, to Taylor, Egg Taylor, congratulations, you were a great fighter. And of course, to our winner, Lee Still. You're the first Dega Clash of Tribes winner, so you're making history here. So, Carlos, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about more about this, or we should jump to questions to see if our audience has questions.
Oh, one last thing. It's like you guys need to, prepare for this battle, right? Like jumping, as you saw, the power is in your numbers, is in the capability to bring your people together, right, for the event. So make sure to be ready by inviting your friends, your family, and you know, having them set to support you for the next Clash of Tribes. It's really simple, right? Like it's all about liking and retweeting. You don't need money to be supported. You don't need any special type of system, right? No need to download another app to download or to go to a new website. It's like it's extremely low barrier to entry, and it's something that can bring together your people, right? Like the people that you want to share a vision with. Another thing that's important to mention is that for like because right now with the ISPO starting off in Cardano, we're very Cardano heavy, but there are going to be guilds and communities coming in from the other ecosystems in the future, right? We're gonna have tribes coming from Polkadot, tribes coming from Polygon, from Ethereum, and some of those guys are also very well organized. So take this time right now to buff up your numbers, buff up your preparation, because once this is being used across four ecosystems, and in the future even more, right? Like we're in conversations with people from other protocols as well. Like I can't name them until we publish these official announcements. But as we keep, as DEGA keeps integrating and working with other ecosystems, you have ever harder competitions, right? So take this time right now to your advantage to buff up your tribe and be ready for when this really becomes a massive cross industry event.
Yeah, people. So there are strategies you can put in place. Actually, Richie gave a lot of ideas also, like out there, on strategies, and we saw partnerships happening and tribes joining other tribes. So there's a space to be creative and strategic. How are you gonna rally your tribe? How are they gonna know what the link is to support it? How will you have everyone ready there to support? You got like thousands of members. How do you rally them in order to be supportive on this one? So okay, get organized, get going, get waiting for it. We're gonna be talking a lot about it. But remember, this is a very good chance to prove your social power and the connection and the engagement inside your tribes and the power of the tribes. So I loved it. It was awesome. It's also like really cool to watch, listen, and live in a live experience, which it was. I thought it was gonna be hard, Carlos, but it was natural. It is exciting. So it's
Yep.
naturally exciting. So yeah,
Yep.
I know you tested a lot. Okay, so let's jump onto the questions from the people. I don't see any questions right now here in the chat. I don't know if you see any. Mine is taking some time to
No,
refresh.
no, I don't see any. But let's give it another minute. In the meantime, let's move forward with any other points. And if we cut it up short today, that'd also be great because I have an ungodly amount of meetings today with a whole bunch of, but they're all great because they're with very important either potential partnerships or other integrations. So yeah, let's keep moving.
No, I think our topic, it was kind of like half an hour talking about these things and then talking to the audience. But right now, I think it's an invitation for everyone to get into the ISPO and be part of this. Carlos, where can we find information to answer our questions? How do I stake? What does it mean? What is the pre-mint pass? What are those things? Where are the places that people can find this information really easy and really just read about it and understand it?
Yeah, so for everything, absolutely everything related to DEGA, you can find the articles and the social accounts in our website, dega.org or dega.org, right? Always be careful to make sure that you're going to our website. Don't go to others. There's gonna be copycat. There are going to be impersonators. Be careful out there. Not everybody is well intentioned in the internet. So make sure to go to the right websites. If you ever in doubt, if you're like, how can I be sure that I'm in the right channel? Just dega.org, right? dega.org. So there you can see, in general, our product offering. You can find the white paper. You can find the blog posts and the articles. You can find the data dashboard where you can track your rewards and you can see, the live stake. You might see a discrepancy between our live stake and the one in Sexplorer because they refresh their metadata like a little bit with a longer cadence. We pull it in real time from Block Frost, so you can see that that the live stake, the real one is the one in our dashboard, right? That's the most up to date one. So yeah, that's basically where you can get all the information. Do join our ISPO and make sure to bring everybody else that you can to support us. The more the more we are, the more powerful, the stronger we are as a tribe. And also, one key thing that actually Rabbit brought to my attention, and I never, I just never thought about it that way, is that there's gonna be a time in which you will never be able to become a supernova again, right? For the Cardano affinity, because there's a minimum amount of epochs that you need to stake. So once we're getting closer to the end of the ISPO, well, not even to the end, just as time goes forward, right? There'll be a time in which there won't be a way for you to be able to get a Cardano affinity NFT with the supernova status, right? So if you want people to, if you think somebody would like to support DEGA or be part of this is the time to bring them in to make sure that they get their supernova status.
Oh yeah, I think there's an epoch that is the mark that the 30 plus stuff just going 29, 28, 27.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Yeah, but one
we're gonna start
question.
posting a counter for that as well, just to make sure that everybody can track it. But yeah, right
Yeah,
now is when you can make sure to get all the benefits from Vega.
so then I have a question. Like if I started staking early, but then I raised my stake after that how do you say that time limit? Like let's say I got in at epoch for 419, but then the change or the limit is on the 432 epoch or something like that. What happens if I stake more money after that?
I
My
mean, just
bonus is calculated, but when I started, or
yeah, when you started, yeah, that's what
okay.
counts. When you started to do delegation, it's time based, not amount based.
So yeah, if I've been staking more than 200 ADA since now, it doesn't matter if like if we cross the limit, I then stake like 100,000 ADA, I still get the reward. All I have to do is start staking now.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And I do have one question. You mentioned the dashboard. When does the dashboard reflect my earnings? After like how much time has to pass to start seeing my stake rewards?
Yeah, so usually you take two epochs, right? Just because that's how Cardano is built. You need to do the switch to our stake pool in one epoch, right? And then that ends, and then you start to kind of like, you know, delegate to us, and then you gotta wait for the rewards to be issued. So it's usually two epochs need to end for you to have Vega rewards. And then you're always going to be you're already staking this epoch, but then until it ends, then you're going to get credited with the rewards, and we usually credit them a few hours after the epoch ends, right? Just to make sure that all the data is properly refreshed and propagated across the blockchain nodes, and then we make sure to issue the function that credits the Dega rewards.
Okay, you so we're in the 420 epoch right now,
Yep.
and that that kind of sounds special. In the we're
Yep.
the 420 right now. We're gonna do something about it for sure. So,
There's one question here in the chat. Danny is asking what has Dega built so far. So at Dega, there's multiple, let's say, levels of things that we're going to be building. The first thing that we created to set out to create, and we actually been getting feedback in our private beta integrations with cornucopias, is our Dega API, right? So this API essentially allows a 17-year-old high school JavaScript developer to be able to use all the power of Web3, right? Everything from deploying new blockchains to being able to issue dynamic NFTs, token locked NFTs, stuff like white label NFT marketplace, everything, right? With cashless transactions that abstract away the complexities so that you can focus on game development, right? So that's in private beta integration. Several modules are already ready to go, but some of them are still pending security audits. Um, and then there's also other components that we've been building out, like the integrations with Telegram that you've seen already as well, and the migration to be able to use ISPO on other blockchain platforms, right? So Cardano natively supports ISPO in a very convenient way due to the way that its proof of stake system is designed. It's probably the simplest delegation proof of stake system I've seen. And then, but others don't, right? So, for example, if you want to do ISPOs with Matic or from Polygon, or you want to do ISPOs with Ethereum, you got to use what's called liquid staking derivatives, which are essentially liquid staking tokens that represent the same token, but that's being staked underneath, right? Which grows in terms of accruing value. So, like for a good example of that is ST ETH from Lido. So we had to build smart contracts that work on top of it, so that you can do ISPOs on Ethereum, for example. So those are done as well. They're only pending audits, right? And we want to do this multi-chain ISPO progressively, so that the team has the capability, the operation to execute it. So obviously Cardano, the first one, that's where ISPOs were invented. Easy start, right? And then we're going to be doing Polkadot. We're also in conversations with several partners there that will be announced in the coming weeks. And then we're going to go probably to Polygon and then probably Ethereum, right? So you'll progressively see the releases that we're going to be doing of the multi-chain ISPO technology modules that we've developed. And later on with the DEGA API, once we start releasing that with our respective partners, right? So in that one it's been developed, but it's still in testing and in private beta. So yeah, I hope that answered your question, Danny, and many more things to come in the following months as we move forward with the ISPO. We're also in parallel building and closing the partnerships that are relevant to be able to make sure that each of these products is a success in terms of deployment.
And one of the things I want to say on top of that, Danny, this is not a project that is doing an ISPO to start building. This is a project that started building, like
Yeah,
when it started.
we actually built way more before we went public in that sense. The only thing is, again, some things do require audits, right? It's very important for the security aspects. So for our team, actually in DEGA, we're really quick to make software, but it's not about rushing into the market, right? Like we've seen a lot of projects that have good intentions and are very aggressive in their go to. We are very aggressive actually in our go to market right now development, but other projects and some of our colleagues have made the mistake to say, screw security, right? And they just deploy, and then you have a crisis, right? Because they're getting hacked. So that's something that we definitely want to be careful with. So until everything's properly vetted, we can't release it into the wild.
Yeah, I saw Danny putting the 100% there, so I think he got the answer. But
Yeah.
Carlos, so I think this is pretty much it in for the invitation and the ISPO. I want to do an invitation for the daily challenge we have on Twitter. Remember, check our Twitter and our announcements, because there's daily opportunities to participate in that. Is easy as everything we're doing. We're trying to make it very easy. It's just like, retweet, mention 3 friends, and you get a chance to participate. But I also want to invite everyone to the DEGA content creation contest. That DEGA content creation contest happens bi-weekly, and it's a contest of creatives, of creators, ideas, and craziness. You know, it's getting freaky with it. It's creating content that talks about the ISPO, about DEGA, but that has your own flavor. It has your personality. And we want to see people even creating poems, you know, creating poems, creating videos, making images, creating awesome stuff. And the way it works is on Friday, a group of people that know a lot about content will choose the three finalists, and those finalists will be announced Friday night, East Coast EST. And those three finalists will get a Twitter from DEGA, and each one of you will get a tweet link, and the community will support and will vote with retweets, likes, and comments for whoever is the favorite. And then on Monday, we will announce the winner, and the winner takes 75,000 DEGA tokens, Carlos. Have you seen this before? You've seen the results of this. Like some
Yeah,
crazy, really cool stuff comes out of this contest.
yeah. Competition brings the best out of everybody. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, so get into the DEGA content creation contest, and I think that's it, Carlos. I know you gotta go. You got a busy week, and this is gonna be a magical week, and it's the 420 epoch. So let's celebrate it. Let's make it fun.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Freak. Yeah, it was great having this conversation with you. Looking forward to seeing everybody here tomorrow as well. We have a daily Twitter space, so have a great day, everybody, and thank you for joining us.
Hey, Carlos, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. Love you all. Take care.
Sa Camila Cabello. Itu namanya tau?